Hey everybody, this is Hyperbaby Podcast, episode number 1. Thank you for joining us. My name is Chris, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Amy.
Hey everybody.
So today we got a lot of stuff to cover. We tried not to pack too much stuff in our first episode, but first of all, we want to get you guys in the know as to who we are. Amy and I are basically the creators of StoneRow the Game, and we are starting to develop some other ideas and products that we want to share with everybody. So Hyperbaby is our company that is basically covering all of that stuff.
As you probably know, Chris and I started the StoneRow game. Would it be a year and a half?
Yeah.
Well, almost
2 years ago.
Almost 2 years ago, we started working on a card game, and we decided we liked it so much we wanted to share it with other people. And as it grew, we got ideas for other card games, and as we'll talk about later, some other creative efforts. And to kind of put that all under one umbrella, we've created this Hyperbaby Productions, which is where the podcast come from.
Yep, it's basically we've got a severe case of scope creep with things that we want to try and do. But as is the case with anything, we're learning as we're going. We're kind of developing some of these things. So some of these things that we come across and want to do are bigger than we can handle. But we do have some exciting stuff that's coming up, hopefully this year. One thing that we wanted to talk to everybody about, and everyone's being affected by this, is kind of how 2020 has changed for us. It started out as a really hopeful year. We were going to do a lot of on-site conventions to show off our game, and obviously that hasn't happened due to the COVID situation. So we've had to kind of reinvent our 2020, as a lot of people have. So we're feeling you out there. We've kind of gone back into developmental mode, which has been a silver lining. We've had more time to work on our games that are in development and come across a few new ideas that we didn't plan for.
Yeah, we're really excited about a couple of these things, and I guess more importantly, one thing that this has taught us is we're starting to reach out more to other creative people that we know, and we're kind of excited to collaborate with other creatives in the area. We're all stuck at home and we're all dying to create something, so we've been just kind of touching base with other folks we know, and as we get those projects a little bit underhand, we'll let you know more about them. But I think the first one that we're really excited about is a project that's kind of close to our heart, because back in the 80s, we were big fans of playing Dungeons & Dragons. And now we're kind of coming back around to that a little bit.
She's from the 80s. I'm from the 90s. So let's just get that out of the way.
Barely.
Little age difference here.
But yeah, Chris, why don't you talk a little bit about our newest adventure?
Yeah, so it goes back to rediscovering Dungeons & Dragons. I have a friend that I recently rekindled my relationship with from high school, who we were very into Dungeons & Dragons in high school. It turned out it was one of these, in hindsight, it was really one of the finer moments of our school careers, and we look at it fondly. So, we're both adults, obviously. Well, we pretend we are. And I recently rekindled a relationship with him, and we both discovered that we still wanted to play D&D. So we did that. Amy hosted some sessions. She was the DM. And it went really well. It really kind of rekindled that excitement for playing Dungeons & Dragons. We appreciated it so much more as adults, because we had to make a lot of things happen for people's schedules. We don't have loads of free time anymore, so to play a game takes a lot of prep and planning. My friend lives a considerable distance away, so we have to travel, or he has to travel to our place. So we really appreciated it. And from that, our want to create more kind of stemmed from that. So we got together and just thought this through and said, hey, let's try to start designing some adventures. I would say, this is more on my friend Aaron for kind of initiating some of this. But the three of us got together, myself, Aaron, and Amy, and we're just basically trying to write some adventures to see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that Aaron's passion for the game was what kind of led us down this path, because he's a fabulous fan of D&D, and his excitement for it was something that really kind of led the way, and it brought us along with him, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a personal trainer, so he brings that energy to anything that he does, and it's infectious. And that was one of the things that Amy talked about earlier about we're more open to doing projects with other creatives, and it's been a great experience so far. There's days where it's a struggle because your energy ebbs and flows, but as far as working with other people in this scenario, it's been fantastic. We've all, I believe, brought each other up. We're trying to offer really good advice, and we're I think sometimes having more minds on a project like this really helps you work through some of the difficulties better. It's like sometimes when it's just two people or one person, it's harder to think tank stuff. So with the three of us now, if two of us don't have it, the other one does, or two of us have good ideas and one doesn't, or we all have good ideas. So I'm really excited about that part of it.
Absolutely. And I think Aaron has some really unique ideas and directions he wants to take this, because like I said, I mean, D&D is something that's been around for so many years. We've all played it. How can you approach that with a new eye? But after talking with him, I think he's got some really unique ideas on ways that we can give something new to a community who's existed for such a long time. And they've seen it all and they've played it all. So what do we have to offer? But I think Aaron's come up with some good ideas. And between the three of us, I think we've got some unique and new approaches to something that's already been familiar with people. Yeah.
Sometimes what I'm finding is I'm a little less savvy with what's popular now in Dungeons and Dragons, and there's an obvious bad side to that. You don't really know what culturally is going on, but you also come to it without preconception of what's going on. So sometimes that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Like Amy said, you're thinking outside the box of what is the norm. Another thing too is I'm getting to explore a whole new side of my creative experience that I haven't before with writing. It's something I did way back in high school, but now I'm finding that I'm kind of obsessing about it, and I'm seeing what Amy is always trying to tell me when she gets nose deep in her novel, and she's excited about it. I'm looking at her like she's talking another language. But I've felt that with writing some of this adventure, so that's been exciting for me.
It's been neat to see Chris kind of come around to this writing world, because he's the artist between the two of us, and I always look over his shoulder and I'm amazed at the things he creates when he's drawing and when he's working through his art projects. And it's kind of neat to have him kind of come over to my side a little bit and
the
work
dark
on,
side,
right? Work on writing projects, and I see how his artistic brain approaches what I've been doing for a while in a unique approach, and it's really interesting. And he's got some really cool ideas. I can't wait for you guys to see the world that he's creating.
That's part of what I'm super excited about, is that together we've really come up with some cool stuff so far. And of course I'm biased, but I think the world will look at it and go, oh, that's pretty neat. And the really cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons is that you don't have to go through the entirety of the formal process of creating an adventure to actually play it. Like, you could just write some notes down on a piece of paper, and you can steal some art from somewhere, or get some music from YouTube and really make it a good experience for yourself and your fellow adventurers. So I like that. Like, it goes directly from your imagination to starting to form, and then you can actually put it to use, which is cool. A lot of things like our game, we could do that, but to really see a finished product, it took a long time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Yeah,
it's definitely something that we're, can you tell we're really excited about? We spent the first half of the podcast talking about it, but we don't want to give away too many things at this point. Aaron, Chris, and myself, we're all kind of developing adventures individually and working with each other to make them better, so that we can kind of see where the process takes us. I mean, the goal is to have finished campaigns that we can have others play. But at this point, it's still pretty new, and we're still kind of in the infancy with it. I think some of us are further along than others. Aaron is just barreling ahead.
Yes.
He's far outpaced Chris and myself. So you probably will see more from his adventure than ours at first. Yeah. But
yeah, he's keeping us motivated, though, to get back to it, which is good.
Absolutely. So I think, I'm not sure how soon you're going to see anything from the Wheel of Cheese Adventures, our D&D arm of the company.
Wheel of Cheese.
Yes.
It'll be a while, but we are excited to kind of, I'm sure we'll give you snippets. And part of like what we're doing this podcast for and moving forward is we want to be more transparent with the creative process, because that for us right now is really what is driving us to do this. Is we love doing the creative process, and we love sharing that with other people. So if you're a creative out there, which almost everybody is, and you've ever wondered how we do stuff, or how you take an idea to actually a tangible thing you can hold in your hands, that's kind of what the direction we want to go with this. So stay tuned. We will give you tangible things to see, to look at, and maybe read or even play at some point.
Absolutely. We kind of want to use this podcast as a way to bridge that communication gap. Facebook posts can only go so far.
Yeah.
We wanted to give you guys more of an insight, especially now, while everybody's just kind of trapped inside and feeling a little bit claustrophobic and cabin fever. We want a way for us to reach out, and that maintains our sanity, but also for you guys to get a little bit of a glimpse into what we're doing, and hopefully that'll bring us all together a little bit more.
Yeah, it would be nice. So what other projects do we have going on, you might be asking? We're not going to bombard you too much with everything we're working on besides our normal stuff. But we do have another card game in development, which I don't want to tell too much on. We've shared with some people kind of how far we are along on the game. The game is going to be space themed, I can tell you that, and it's going to be for 2 to 4 players, and it'll be like a space racing game with a nice healthy dose of humor.
Yeah, that to me was really where we wanted to head with this. We wanted to make it something you might be familiar with, but then, like you said, that heavy dose, we wanted to instill a lot of levity in this.
Yeah. And that's our idle state too, is being goofy and silly, and we really want to do something that has a little bit more. It's memorable when you play it, and it's fun, and it makes you chuckle, giggle, or at least look at it silly. So I would say our mechanics part of the game is maybe like 60% done. Like, it's hard to put a number on that really, but it is playable at this point. We have some things we need to iron out. There is some content we still need to develop concerning the humor part of it. We have a good theme, but needs to be fleshed out. Mm-hmm. And we are actively trying to work with someone outside the two of us to help us come up with some more content with the humor. So we're not going to say anything right now, but we're excited to share that part of it too, because I think it's going to turn out to be a really neat project.
Absolutely. Along with looking at injecting that humor into the game, we're also actively looking for artists. We've reached out to just a couple of artists right now. Mm-hmm. We're going to be looking at a few more. The same artist that did StoneRow, Annika Brandow, I think we'll be in touch with her to see if possibly her art style will work for this. We're not exactly sure, but we really love her and we love working with her. So we're going to give her a shot and see if she can produce that kind of science fiction theme. We already know she's fantastic at this medieval themed art. Mm-hmm. We just need to see if she can do robots and spaceships as well.
Yeah, we have a pretty, not definitive, but an idea where we want to go with the art. So, but yeah, we're searching right now. All sorts of stuff's come together at once, and no time to do it. Anything else that we have?
Yeah, I think those are our two biggest projects. Really, it's the D&D campaigns, and then the the new sci-fi card game. That's what we're working on.
And for you StoneRow fans out there, we apologize. We have been busy with everything going on. We are working on ramping up the StoneRow marketing machine. We have some things in the works for marketing specific ideas with StoneRow. We don't know yet if we're going to be doing a Kickstarter this year yet. We may be doing that for an added item on StoneRow. We want to do a lot more functions and online because of what's going on. And we're really hoping to be doing some conventions later half of this year. Probably, maybe later half of this year. We're not sure about that. But keep your eyes peeled for more StoneRow news. It will come soon.
Absolutely. And this is just the beginning. Hopefully, as we get used to doing these podcasts, and if we don't think they're absolutely awful, we're going to do more of these, and we would love to invite other people on. We would really love to share the creative process and see what other people think. So we're going to be reaching out to folks we know, and you might hear some guest voices on a few days in the future.
Creepy. We'll just hijack someone and make them pretend they're someone we'll work with. That's what we're going to have to do.
Right.
Really.
We'll have to get a microphone that's on a 6-foot-long pole. And just walk around town. But I think that's about it that I have.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Our first ever podcast.
Yes.
And we hope to be back even, I think, weekly with these. That's the idea. So.
And if you have any ideas for what you'd like to hear on the podcast, hit us up on Facebook or shoot us an email or go through the website. It's StoneRowGames.com.
All right. We'll talk to you again.